That was an old school AFC West bloodbath, basically. Just two defenses playing out of their mind. And yeah, we just found a way to win, you know. And that says so much about our team. See that we've had so many weeks now where we've been efficient, we're moving the chains, third down, all these kind of things. And then we ran into this team, and for whatever reason tonight, it was just, some nights are just tougher than others, right? You know what I'm saying? And this was one of those nights.
It really wasn't an old school AFC West bloodbath. I've seen old school AFC West bloodbaths. I mean, for long stretches, it was a boring game. It had some lead changes that made it exciting. It wasn't a bloodbath. It was just, hey, one offense was worse than the other. One offense ultimately had a harder time moving the football when it mattered. And I got to give Derek Carr credit. 10-play, 75-yard drive, gets the ball down the field, gets the game-winning touchdown, and then the defense holds on and the Raiders win. And you mentioned this earlier, Big Cat, and we've decided to broaden the lens a little bit as we consider Coach of the Year. We're halfway through the season, and we have seen some teams that have overachieved, and that really is the loose standard for the voters. Not that it's articulated anywhere. The thing about these postseason awards from the AP, there's no rule. There's no guidance. Coach of the Year, whatever you think Coach of the Year is, and it does become the coach who most dramatically exceeds the pre-existing expectations. And I think we're onto something with John Gruden as potential Coach of the Year if they make it to the playoffs. How about some other candidates? I want to get your reaction to these. Sean McDermott of the Bills.
I think Sean McDermott is in the discussion. I probably wouldn't have him. I wrote down I probably wouldn't have him in my top 5 right now because I think the Bills have, and I love the Bills, I love the people of Buffalo, but I think they have benefited from a slightly soft schedule. So while they're going to probably make the playoffs, and I like what they're building there, I don't think he's my Coach of the Year.
There's another category that I think becomes relevant this year. It's not just coach who most exceeds what we expected before the season. There's also coaches who have handled adversity in season that dramatically decreased expectations, and then they exceeded that barrier, like a Mike Tomlin. We wouldn't have thought of him as a Coach of the Year candidate at 4-4 if we'd have heard back in September that the Steelers are going to be 4-4. When you consider all the crap they've been through to get to 4-4, if they get to the playoffs, Tomlin's got to be considered.
Absolutely. Mike Tomlin is definitely on the, list somewhere. I'd probably like 5, 6. If the Steelers can make the playoffs, I think he definitely has a good case for Coach of the Year because of what you just mentioned. Both the offseason with the Le'Veon Bell, with Antonio Brown, and then Big Ben getting hurt and having to go, and then Mason Rudolph getting hurt. He's kept that team together. The fact that they are 4-4 and have a huge game on Sunday against the Rams, where if they win that game, they are now in a spot where they can be that 6th, team in the AFC wildcard race. A similar one to that, Mike, Sean Payton. Teddy Bridgewater comes in. Drew Brees goes out in the second week. Teddy Bridgewater comes in. They win. They keep winning games. They've been phenomenal. If the New Orleans Saints get the number 1 seed, and you look back and you say they got the number 1 seed and Drew Brees missed 5 games or whatever it was, I think he gets a conversation for Coach of the Year. Same with Ron Rivera. If the Panthers make the playoffs and Cam Newton is out for this long in the season, I think he also is a candidate for Coach of the Year. But I think there's one name that is a slam dunk ahead of John Gruden right now, and I think John Gruden's probably my 3 right now if I had to put it. 2 would be Frank Reich because of the Andrew Luck situation. 1, it's going to be Kyle Shanahan. If the 49ers keep winning, Kyle Shanahan will win Coach of the Year, and he will be much deserved to have that because he went through a lot last year. Last year was supposed to be the year. They have been playing phenomenal football, having Jimmy Garoppolo come back from a torn ACL, and putting that team on the right path and having them be as dominant as they looked. I think Kyle Shanahan is your Coach of the Year halfway through the season.
I agree with you halfway through the season, but when we look at the upcoming schedule for the 49ers, he's going to earn it if he wins it. And if this team ends up being the 1 seed, they will have proven themselves because they play the Packers, they play the Saints, they play the Ravens, they have the Rams again, they have the Seahawks twice. The schedule gets very difficult down the stretch. And there's a way these dominoes fall, Big Cat, where they end up not even getting a bye. So I think they need the 1 seed or the 2 seed for Shanahan to be a viable candidate. Let me throw a couple others out there before we run out of time. We mentioned Matt LaFleur when we talked about this last segment. I mean, exceeding expectations. Who would have thought the Packers would be this good this quickly under a coach who seemed to be in over his head coming into the job with Aaron Rodgers? Andy Reid, handling the Patrick Mahomes injury, resisting the temptation to put him back on the field, getting 1 win out of that deadly 2-pack at home of the Packers and the Vikings. If they end up with a 2 seed or the 1 seed, Reid's got to be considered.
I like that. My last one, John Harbaugh. If they get the 1 seed, John Harbaugh definitely needs to be in the conversation.
Absolutely.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.